including Rudy Giuliani and Kurt Volker, are implicated in that whistleblower complaint. That is in addition to a dozen White House officials and lawyers. Joining me now is Nelson Cunningham. He is a former federal prosecutor and Clinton White House lawyer. Welcome back to the broadcast. Can I just say you are the man. Look at the connections that you have to so many people involved here. Not only, Nelson, is Giuliani your former boss, he hired you at the Southern District of New York. So I'm curious, given all that we know about his role in this Ukraine situation, how do you think he has handled this?
Well, you know, last year, a group of us got together for a reunion. We'd all been hired by him years ago. We've all gone on to do other things. Over dinner, we looked at each other and we all agreed we don't know this Rudy Giuliani. This is a different Rudy Giuliani than the man that we knew, who was always hard-charging, but was always deadly careful and I'd say fired with dead aim. That's not the Rudy Giuliani we're seeing today.
I'm going to add to that and just say I was a local news reporter here in New York when he was the mayor of New York City, and I would say the very same thing from a journalistic perspective here for sure. But do you think that Giuliani could be the person to take down the Trump presidency? I mean, what has changed about him? The former Rudy Giuliani, I'm assuming, would be somebody who had that kind of power and gumption and gusto and almost clarity of thought. What has changed? Could he take down the Trump presidency or not?
Well, I think he's become a television lawyer, which I think is why Donald Trump loves him so much. He goes on television, he plays a lawyer on television, and he plays a lawyer who's an over-the-top lawyer. He's very good at making situations look messy. He's very good at saying things and then walking them back. He's very good at creating an awful lot of confusion. And frankly, I think Donald Trump likes that about him. Donald Trump thinks that he positions himself best when he's operating in a world of confusion and of uncertainty and where nobody quite knows what the truth is. In that sense, I think Rudy Giuliani is doing exactly what Donald Trump wanted him to do. Certainly what he was doing in Ukraine was exactly what Donald Trump wanted him to do, which was to go and stir up the Ukrainians and dig up dirt on Joe Biden.
Well, listen, we could talk about Rudy Giuliani for quite a period of time, but let's get to Kurt Volker, because you are a former colleague of his as well. Of course, Volker being the special envoy for Ukraine, who has resigned now. What were your initial thoughts after reading the allegations against him in the complaint? Is this something that he would do, the Kurt Volker that you know?
Well, Kurt is somebody who is widely respected in Washington. He was a longtime career Foreign Service officer. He served in embassies across Europe. He was a Deputy Assistant Secretary for European Affairs. He was U.S. Ambassador to NATO. After he left the government at the end of the Bush administration, since then he served as the head of the McCain Institute, a think tank at Arizona State University, designed to carry out John McCain's foreign policy views and his legacy. He's highly respected. I think we're all very surprised to see him in the middle of this in this way.
I'm curious, because when you aren't offering your legal expertise here on television, you are leading a global advisory firm. So do you believe if the Democrats win the fight to get any potential other conversations that Trump has had with foreign leaders like Putin, like MBS, might the release of those transcripts cause damage to the U.S.'s credibility? I mean, isn't there a danger to releasing these transcripts or memos publicly?
Well, there is, because leaders talk to the president. They believe the conversations are confidential. And then to see them exposed has got to be difficult and embarrassing. At the same time, that cannot be enough to keep the wrongdoing of anyone, including certainly the president, from being exposed. I think that as we learned what other tapes, what other conversations, not tapes, what other conversations have been stored on this secret server, I think we may be shocked at what we learned from those. We were certainly shocked at what we learned about this conversation, which we didn't even know about 3 weeks ago.
Nelson Cunningham, I know we'll be seeing you again soon. Thank you so much. The latest polling on impeachment, and it's probably going to make the president feel